Hey guys, we are back with another video. So if you've seen my post that I made on TikTok 2 months ago, 3 months ago, um, then you know that I drew this character over here or over here. And I asked you guys if we should redraw it digitally, and everybody said yes, of course. So that's what we will be doing in today's video. So I like the drawing, yes, but there are a lot of things that I don't like about it. The first thing is that it's extremely stiff. I drew this drawing just for fun, just to practice, bring out my alcohol markers. I have not touched my alcohol markers in a very long time, so it was just like a random decision to make this character. And I did think the concept of her was cute, but today we will be redrawing it and redesigning her. And not only will we be redesigning her, she's also inspired by Incurable Case of Love. I decided that after the fact. But if you saw my Instagram story a long time ago, I don't know why I keep saying that, like y'all gonna remember what I'm talking about, but I finished the series and I really wanted to do fan art for it, but I'm like, I'm so sick of fan art. Like, I really do enjoy making my own characters, so I was like, maybe I'll just draw a character inspired by Incurable Case of Love. And when I was looking at the character that I just drew, I was like, she kind of gives nurse vibes. Should I make her a nurse? I'm like, you know what? We're gonna combine the two. So that's what we're doing today. We're redesigning this character, and we're also making her inspired by Incurable Case of Love. So yes, super exciting. Hopefully you guys like the video. I did want to ask if there was anything else that you wanted to see. I know you guys really like the Food to Character series, so I'm gonna try and do that more often. I also do, like my advice videos, and then I also do videos on my art process. So if it's anything that you like to see more often, let me know. Would you guys like to see more like crafty stuff concerning my digital art, like, I don't know, making dolls or something like that? These are all things that I've had experience in, so I know I could do it if you guys want to see. I kind of want to make Stargirl into a doll. I'm not gonna talk too much about it, but if it's something you want to see, just let me know. I'm pretty open to anything. I'm an artist, not a content creator, if it wasn't obvious. But yeah, I'm still open to anything. Also, do you guys want to see my face more, or girl, just show the art? Like, we don't want to see you, we want to see the art. Let me know. And yeah, so let's go ahead and get into the video. Bye. Alrighty, so let's get into the drawing finally. So what made me decide to turn her into a nurse, you're probably wondering. Like I said in the intro, I didn't really have any direction with the original character that I drew. And I also I had just finished reading Incurable Case of Love. This was back in March. So I was like, let me make her into a nurse, because I really wanted to draw a nurse, and I had just finished that series, and I was like, this is probably the perfect character to do that with, because if I were to draw a nurse, she would have a bob and glasses, of course, because y'all know I love me a good bob and some glasses. And the original reference for the character that I drew, she had glasses on. I guess I just forgot to draw it in the original drawing. So yeah, I just decided, let's do this instead, so that way I don't have to make fan art. I can make my own original character and also just be inspired by what I drew, or not what I drew, but what I read. So that's why I decided to draw a nurse. Truthfully, I really struggled with the sketch for this, I'm not gonna lie. It's just drawing characters sitting down. I don't do that often enough for me to be able to get it right the first time. And I think my original problem that I was having with drawing this was that I kept drawing things that I didn't see in the reference. Like, I was trying to understand the anatomy of a character sitting down versus just actually drawing it. And normally that would be fine, because you do want to understand what you're drawing. But since this wasn't an actual study, I also had a reference and I was like trying to draw a fully fleshed out character, I should have just drew what I saw in the image. But sometimes I have a habit of overthinking and like trying to figure everything out at once instead of just focusing on what I'm doing at the moment. Not just with art, that's with everything. So yeah, I was really struggling with the pose at first, but I was like, let me just calm down, let me just draw what I see. And then like if I want to understand the anatomy of a character sitting down, I could do that on my own time, and I can just study the anatomy of that at a different time. So it was much easier to draw it once I just let it go, stop trying to understand how it works and just do it. But yeah, again, that's not to say that you shouldn't understand what you're drawing, but sometimes it's really not necessary, especially if it's not an overcomplicated pose, which this was not an overcomplicated pose. So yeah, I just felt like I could just draw what I saw in the reference and then come back to it later if I really wanted to understand. I also really wanted to capture her expression in this drawing. You'll see me like really struggling with the face just because I feel like I don't draw expressions as much as I would like to. My favorite art to consume as like an art enjoyer is definitely art with very expressiveness in their features, and I was trying my best to capture that but also keeping it in my own style, and that was a little bit difficult. You'll see me like pulling up a lot of different references for like an embarrassed face because that is what I was going for, which leads me to my next topic, which is the concept of the drawing. So because Incurable Case of Love, I don't know if you read it, I'm not gonna spoil it for you, it's really old anyway, so yeah, I'm sure if you like googled it you probably would get spoiled. But the main concept of the series is a nurse, she like falls in love with a doctor, so she becomes a nurse to get close to the doctor. That's not the concept of this character, but it is inspired by, you know, the concept of the series. So what I wanted to draw was a nurse, and obviously she has a crush on the doctor, and I was originally going to include a male in here. I don't really draw males that often. I don't mind drawing them. I actually learned how to draw by drawing males. I only drew males at one point. So now in this stage of my life and in my art journey, I kind of only like to draw women. But sometimes you'll see me like add males into the drawings. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see it. But yeah, I was originally going to draw a male in here, and he was supposed to be like, she's supposed to be working, but instead she's like reading her little diary or like her little love book or whatever that is that I drew. You'll see it later. And then he like comes in, he's like interrupting her, and she's like, oh my goodness, he caught me crushing on him and thinking about him. So that was the original concept. And like I said, I had like a male in here. I didn't want him to be like the main focal point, which is why I didn't have like a face or like a full body. It was just kind of like a half character in there. I'm kind of thinking like which one is it? Is he like Dexter or Powerpuff Girls? I can't remember. I think it's Powerpuff Girls, but you know how like the adults in the series, you can never see their face. It's just like their bodies. That's what I was thinking about when drawing this. So that was originally what I went for. And then you'll see later on in the sketch that I actually ended up cropping him out totally and just kind of had his hand in there. And he's like, hey, get back to work. You'll also see me drawing a chibi character. It's like her little thought bubble, and it's him. And I don't know, I just kind of thought it would be cute to add like a blushing chibi. Maybe he has a crush on her. I don't know, guys, let me know, because definitely with my original characters I can see myself drawing them again. Especially like getting into animation, I might, you know, animate certain scenarios. Maybe this will be one, I'm not saying for sure, but yeah. So I wanted to do a chibi of him blushing too, so maybe he has a crush on her, or maybe, you know, she kind of just embarrasses him a little bit because he's kind of shy, which is why you'll see later he has like a kind of like a basic expression. But yeah, that was kind of like the concept for the drawing. So for the character herself, I wanted her to be like kind of cute, kind of sexy, both kind of mixed in together. I don't know if I like achieved that. It's okay if she's just like a cutie patootie. That's fine too. But yeah, that was why I put her in like a little short nurse's outfit. Like, oh, you a cute girl. That was the vibes I was going for. But yeah, it wasn't like a huge deal to me. My main focus about this drawing was getting the expression right, and I think I got it right with the sketch. But as you all know, if you guys make art, I know some of you make art, like when we do the line art, we kind of lose a little bit of the detail. I think that's what happened with this drawing, because I kind of wanted to give her like a little awkward smile, and instead of an awkward smile in the final drawing, she's kind of just smiling, which is why I like OD'd on the blush. And yeah, that's kind of what I was going for this character. Since this is such a complex, if you want to call it a complex drawing, there is a lot of sketching in here and me redoing a lot of the sketch. I was just like redrawing the same thing over and over and over again. You can see right here, I'm really struggling with drawing the hands. So when it comes to my style in particular, or any style that's like non-realistic, sometimes you can't always draw what you see in the reference because it won't read well, and that's kind of what was happening here. And I was trying to decide how to draw the hands to make it read well, just because like in the reference, if I drew it exactly like the reference, as you could see earlier, it kind of looked crazy. Like she kind of had goblin hands. I don't want her to have goblin hands. I want her to have cute, dainty, girly hands. So I kind of just put it away for a while, and then I went back to it later just because I didn't want to stress myself out trying to draw hands. It's not that serious. Just put it away. Sometimes that's what we gotta do. Just put it away and come back. So that's what I did here. Now you'll see me working on her hair. So redesigning her character, I wanted you to still be able to see that this was her character. I knew the main way you would be able to tell would be through coloring, but I also wanted to make sure you could tell with just how the character looks in general. So a distinct feature that she has is like the little long side bang on one side of her face. So I really made sure to include that. And also like her eyes, you'll see when I color later, her eyes has stars in them, so I decided to keep that too. I did end up changing her eyebrows just to capture the expression a little bit better. I kind of made them more thick. In the original drawing, it's kind of straight. This was actually a really easy character to redesign for me, just because she was so stiff in the original drawing. I kind of had the freedom to really just do whatever I wanted with her fully fleshed out character. So yeah, I really enjoyed sketching, even though it was kind of complicated and over complex for me. I say it's complex. It's really not. It's just a lot to draw. It's a lot to draw. It's really not hard. Like, I know how to draw a table. I know how to draw a character. I know how to draw men. I know how to draw a chair. It's just I have to do it all in one drawing. Like, that's too much. It's too much. But yeah, I really enjoyed deciding what to do with this character. I did cut it out of the video, but I'll pop a little time lapse here. I was trying to figure out a good pose for her, just because again I wanted to add the male in here. But I also wanted to keep the focal point on her. So you'll see me in the little time lapse just figure out, trying to do like different little thumbnails, which I usually don't do thumbnails. I kind of already just have an idea, but this time I was kind of all over the place with the concept for it, just because with my references, I don't know guys, is it just me? For whatever reason, Pinterest, like I'm starting to see a lot of AI on Pinterest now, and it's hard to find like real references or even just art references in general. It's kind of like I don't know, it's gonna be taken over by AI. So a lot of my references on here, I can't promise you it's not AI. But also I can't say for sure, so you don't really want to copy it exactly. So I was trying to find a good middle ground of like using it for inspiration and then also not like copying it too much because I don't want to steal from another artist. But yeah, that's kind of like, I don't know, this AI stuff is killing me, guys. Like, it's kind of hard to decide what's AI and what's not. And then if you do say it's AI, you could be offending an artist because it's not AI. Like, it's really hard. It's really hard, finding references. And I knew I would probably end up having to take my own references. I really don't like to do that, but like if I absolutely have to, I will. Like 9 times out of 10 with drawing hands, I'll do my own references, but yeah, it really just depends. But I was really struggling with finding references for this drawing, just because I don't know, it was a lot of AI. But yeah, I made it work, so it's fine. So when drawing the background, I feel like that's the part that kind of made it feel a little bit complex because I wanted you to be able to comprehend what was happening in the scene that I was drawing. So I wanted to do, like a cute little office. So I decided to add the cabinets and, just like little nursey stuff in the background. So we have like the first aid kit back there. Little tester cups or just regular cups. We have like the medical scissors, her paperwork. This is supposed to be a why did I forget what it's called? What's funny, guys? I literally work in healthcare. Like I work in healthcare. I went to school for healthcare. I don't know why I can't remember what it's called. The little stethoscope thing. Oh my goodness, this is crazy. Yeah, that thing. That's what it's supposed to be. Like I said earlier, finding references, like I'm really not great at finding references. I'm also not great at actually using them when I need them. I could have easily just gone on Pinterest and searched stethoscope, and then I could have found a better picture to use. And I could have drawn it better, but honestly, guys, I'm just lazy. Like using references is something I just like recently started doing, because before, if you've been following me for a while, I would do redraws. So I do like fan art redraws or like just redraws of a picture I found on Pinterest or something. So you really don't need that many references for that. You can just use the same reference that you have. But when it comes to creating your own characters, I definitely know I need to get better at finding references. Like I don't always have to figure it out on my own. And I think that's what makes sketching such a long process for me, is that I'm just redrawing the same thing, trying to figure out how it should look when I could just search it and see what it's supposed to look like. But yeah, I'm working on it. I'm not a perfect artist, guys. I make mistakes. I don't do everything perfectly. It happens. But now we are to my favorite part, which is the coloring for this. So choosing colors, I knew I had to be very careful with the colors that I chose so that you could see it's the same character, like I said earlier. An issue that I was having with choosing the colors was her skin tone and the color of her outfit. So we did have to change the outfit because she's a nurse, so she can't wear her original outfit that she was wearing. I mean, she could have, but I feel like it wouldn't read well if I kept her in the same outfit. So I did change it, but I was also trying to decide how to do the colors to where you can tell it's the same character. You know what I'm trying to say? But also not just like choosing the colors for her outfit, but also her skin tone. So when I originally made the drawing, if you guys saw the TikTok that I made, I was telling you guys that I did not have skin tones in my marker set. I have an Ahuhu marker set that I bought back in 2019. in the set that I bought, it didn't have like proper skin tones. I don't even know too much about the set that I do have, but I do know it wasn't meant for skin tones. So that was really hard choosing if I should give her a different skin tone or just leave it the same. Because if I left her skin tone the same, it would kind of end up looking like a non-human skin tone, which is kind of what we have here. But I think honestly, I'm gonna leave it up to the audience to interpret if she has a human skin tone or not. Is she human? Is she not? You guys know I draw like space girls. She could be a space nurse, or she could not be. Up to the audience, up to the viewers. She could have a human skin tone and she could just be tan. That's fine too. I just really wanted her to look like the same character, so I just decided to go with the non-human or like the tan skin tone. And yeah, I actually don't have it in here, but rendering the eyes, I left her eyes the same color. I also added little yellow stars in there. I don't know if you can see it in the video just because it's kind of far away, but yeah. Coloring this was probably my favorite part of the whole process. Usually coloring is my favorite because once I get to the coloring, I know I'm pretty much gonna fly through the rest of the drawing. I think when I got to the coloring stage, I was already 15 hours in. I actually didn't look at the total track time it took me to draw this. If I could guess, I would probably say maybe 20 to 24 hours over the course of like a week or so. This really took me a long time. It took longer than I feel like it probably should, just because I was procrastinating. Like, even as you can see, like I didn't even record me doing the liner just because it was so much to line. And line art isn't like my favorite part of the art process. I can't stand doing line art. Like, sometimes I can do it and really enjoy it. Like a few years ago, the liner stage was my favorite part of the process, of my art process. Now it is not. I cannot stand it. I flip back and forth. So maybe like a year from now, it'll be my favorite all over again. I really just can't decide how I feel about line art. Like, if I could draw and then have somebody else do the line art for me, and then I could just hop straight to the coloring, that would be amazing. But I can't. I feel like that's also like another reason why I won't push myself to do like a super complex drawing like I really want to. It's the line art, because I know I'm gonna have to line all of it. And I know, like, people do have a style where they don't do line art at all. They just kind of color over the sketch, which I hear that also takes a really long time. And I also can't find good YouTube videos or like tutorials on how to do it, so I just don't. And then also, I think for my style in particular, I think line art just fits my style best. I don't know, I really do like having line art in my art. I just don't like doing it. That's kind of annoying. I don't like to. But yeah, so here you see me drawing the chibi. Like I said earlier, I wanted to make him blush. I wanted to give him like a kind of, like a very basic expression, just because in my head he's very shy. He's, kind of like antisocial. Like, he's just here to be a doctor and then go home. Like, he wouldn't expect anybody to have a crush on him, and he kind of has like an inkling that she might have one, so he doesn't really know how to interact with her. So he's blushing. I actually did not plan on adding a chibi in here originally, but one of my reference photos had a chibi, and I thought it would be such a cute idea to add that as well. Fun fact about me that literally nobody asked for. Manga and chibis was like how I originally learned how to draw. That was like the first things that I ever learned how to draw back in elementary school. I had a friend, well, I won't say a friend, but there was somebody that I knew. She was so good at drawing. Like, oh my god, guys, I I wouldn't be surprised if she was an artist now. I've never come across her. But she was really good at art. Like, for us to be in like fourth grade, she could draw really well. Like, that girl was talented. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. She draws like somebody that has been studying for 30 years. Like, that's how good she was. And she would have like little art books and stuff. And she let me borrow her art book. And I'm gonna be honest, I never gave it back. I still have it. Like, I'm literally freaking in my mid-20s and I still have that book. But yeah, that book was actually how I learned how to draw. So I was already drawing before then, but I didn't like know too much about drawing. I kind of just like would doodle like normal children would do. But that book like actually like got me into like, you know, manga and stuff like that, like drawing the characters at least. And I would read it when I was younger, but I was so young, I didn't really know how to read it or what I was reading. Just because, you know, like you have to read the opposite way. So I kind of just like, I say I read it, but I would like really just flip through it. But I really love the art style and I would draw the characters and everything like that. So yeah, that's kind of really how I got my start in art. Not seriously, but that's kind of like my introduction to art. So yeah, I find it funny that I kind of struggle to draw chibis now, because as you can see in the video, I had to keep redrawing him because I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I don't know. It's just like my style has developed so much. I don't really draw the characters' heads as big as I used to draw them back in the day. So when it comes to drawing chibis, I don't really know where to start as far as proportions go. So I feel like it kind of looks odd a little bit. But yeah, fun fact nobody asked for. As I'm watching the video back, I'm kind of realizing that I kind of forgot how to render clothes for like a split second. So usually how I render clothes is I will use the selector tool, and I use it's like a textured brush. I cannot find where I got this brush, because I did make a video last year of my art process, or like my workflow, and I linked all the brushes in there. So you can check that video out if you want to see, but I can't guarantee that's actually where I got the brush. I just like reversed image searched the brush and that's what I came up with. So hopefully that is the correct brush that I'm using, but it's called the blending sculptor brush, and it's like a textured brush. It kind of reminds you of like not like a kind of like a smooth hatching a little bit, like cross hatching, if that makes sense. And what I would do when I render clothes is I'll use the selector tool and select out the shape that I want to use, and then I'll use that brush and I'll kind of like airbrush it on in a textured way, just to give like the clothes a more fabric feel. I did not do that this time. I kind of just like forgot completely. And also at this stage of the art process, it was like not 3 in the morning, but like 2 in the morning. And I was kind of like over it at this point. I was just trying to get it done. So I really was not paying attention to how I was rendering the clothes. But that's okay. Like, it's still readable. You know, it's not the perfect render, but y'all know she in a dress. So if y'all know, I know, who really cares at the end of the day? So I've pretty much said all I really have to say about my art process when it came to redesigning this character. This is such a long video. I think this is what is like 35 minutes. I don't know. I feel like if I just keep talking, I'm just gonna yap. So I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the rest of the video and we will come back at the end. Alrighty, so we are coming up at the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think about the drawing. Is there anything that you would change? What would you have done with the character, the original character that I've drawn? Would you turn her into a nurse? Would you not? Is she a human? Is she not, based off of her skin tone? I don't think it looks like too far off from a human tone. She just looks like she has a tan. But yeah, let me know what you think. Also, like I said in the beginning, if there's anything else you want to see from me, let me know. I'm pretty open to anything. I did put a poll up to see if you guys wanted me to do like AI versus me or make some fan art in the next drawing, just to take a little bit of a break. Also, make sure you follow my social medias. I do have an art shop, so if you want to shop my art, you can check that out. All the links will be below. And yeah, this is what she looks like. I love her. I think she came out super cute. I love the concept of this drawing. Make sure you let me know what you think. I hope you guys like her as well. Make sure to subscribe, follow my socials, and I will see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.